What's going on, everyone? Welcome to In the Loop with Loop One Records. Good morning, good week, good day. It is your boy Matt, M-A-T-T with an E, aka Matt Live Vibe.
It's your boy Big Will, the KID.
K-I-D, dude. How you doing, man?
Good.
That's good, man.
Good.
It's been a hell of a weekend. Busy,
Yeah, for
busy
you.
weekend.
You've been busy.
I've been busy, yes, but I think everyone with this beautiful weather, this weird weather, it was pretty cold yesterday, but
It's interesting yesterday.
yeah, but beautiful Austin, Texas. Looks like spring is here. Looks like the sun is out. The breeze is here. Everyone's having a good time. But you know, it's a new week, man. New challenges await us. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
But I guess let's get right into it, man. Big day yesterday in Austin. It was the annual spring game, orange and white at UT. Man, did you read any of that?
Yeah. I watched a little bit of the highlights.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
It was
reading. It was kind of a sloppy game, though, man.
Due to the wind, though, I feel like the weather was a little bit of a cause for the sloppiness.
I mean, I
But
guess.
also, we have a lot of new freshmen this year, so
We do, but I don't know, man. This is the orange and white game is like the time to really shine.
Yeah.
I in the off season at least. I mean,
Yeah.
this is where you really show. Okay, from the end of last season to now, this is where we're at.
Yep.
And it looked like defense. Granted, the wind was a big factor, but
Yeah.
at some point you got to take some responsibility. Like, okay, if the weather's here, how can we adjust? What do we need to change?
oh,
on
for sure.
offense?
Because I mean, there's games that they're gonna play with high winds, so
Well, exactly, but that's what I'm saying. You need to be able to adjust to
Adjust,
that
yeah.
accordingly. Either run the ball more, do
Yep.
more screens. But I guess even Herman was saying that, dude, the wind was so bad we couldn't even do a bubble screen play.
Well, the way that stadium's set up too is like it's all pretty much closed except that one end. So I'm sure really that wind was just really hitting
Oh,
hard.
yeah. I mean, it turns into a cyclone in there
Yeah.
because it's a
Yeah.
freaking bowl now. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, it was a great game. What was it, 12-6, white one, right?
Yep.
Something like
But,
that.
yeah.
But no, hopefully we see some more improvement from the Texas Longhorns this year. I know they had a pretty strong season last year. So
They
everyone
closed
in
out the
Austin, man,
season pretty good. So
the way
they closed out the season pretty good last
they
year.
did, man,
mean,
they did. So I mean, hopefully, like I said, the sloppiness was just due to the weather, and hopefully they pick up their game come season opener.
Yeah.
But what was even cooler about that was we had a little special guest after the game. Atlanta's own Ludacris was able to bless our beautiful city with a nice little performance, man.
Luda.
And it was pretty cool, man, because there was an Austin, Texas singer, rapper, artist, Noah
Does a
North.
little bit of everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a little bit of everything. So Noah North got to actually be out there and share the stage with him a bit. I think that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. That's it's a big thing for at least a local artist, you know? I mean,
Definitely.
to share the stage with, someone that big. And I mean,
Man.
one thing about Luda is that I feel like people don't even really rock with him anymore. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because we were talking about that earlier. Was that Ludacris probably no one talks about him nearly as much as they should. I mean,
No.
I understand like he went to movies now and he's kind of like laid low.
Yep.
But I think Luda's one of the top people that kind of influence, especially this new generation of music.
Well, yeah, because I mean, he did a feature. I don't know what number feature this was, but when he was on that song, what was it? Was it Baby? Justin Bieber? It was that
Yeah,
one
It
joint.
was probably Baby. I don't know. Just
I don't know. It was one of those songs. But like what I'm saying is that's when Ludacris was like really.
You think
he
that was
had
when he
that.
was softening up?
No, I just think more people were like, oh, like shit, Ludacris, like.
Yeah,
were starting to get
they
more into him.
relearned who he was at
Yeah.
that point. But I think at that point he was. I don't want to say he got soft because obviously he didn't get soft, but his music became less aggressive because the Ludacris
Yeah.
I grew up with was Chicken and Beer, Red Light
Yeah.
District, word of mouth. Like that was in your face music. And I think that's what was cool about it is because he was one of the first punchline rappers that I really recognized.
Yep.
I mean, he had metaphors for days. He had lines. He had punchlines. He had everything that was just, you had to be articulate a little bit and intelligent enough to really understand some of his metaphors that he was saying because it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
He was pretty artsy with that. But no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think a lot of people give him credit. Junior Flexwell, another Austin artist, probably one of the bigger guys in town. He made a post the other day and he was kind of ranking the top Ludacris albums.
Yeah.
And he forgot Red Light District, and I was looking in the comments and I was like, everyone was like, yo, what about Red Light District? Red Light District, Red Light District, Red Light District. And that was actually one of the first albums I my cousin actually burned for me, and I learned that album from start to finish, like lyrically and
Yeah.
just everything about it. So that was a big album for me.
I mean, to be honest, I haven't really gotten to Ludacris. I mean, of course, I've listened to a few of his albums, but I never like rocked with them or anything.
Really?
Nah, dude. Like my first CD was like a Justin Timberlake CD. Then it was like Usher. So that's when like my
Now hold on, wait. When you say Justin Timberlake, are you saying like In Sync, or are you saying
No,
like JT?
no, it was probably NSYNC. I mean, I was like 10 years old or 11 when I got
before or
that.
after Britney Spears?
Shit, I don't even remember, dude.
No, but I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I mean, you can't say Atlanta rap or Atlanta is a big influence without mentioning Ludacris, in my opinion, at least. I mean, he's a big guy coming out of Atlanta, especially in the early 2000s. I mean, of course, you had T.I.
Yep.
also swinging in there around 2006, 2007. But I don't know, man. Ludacris was always someone I really looked up to, and his albums are fire. But again, I mean, it was great that he got to bless our city with a nice little performance. I wish I could have been out there. Loop One could have been out
I
there.
didn't even hear about it. So
Huh?
I didn't even hear about there was being a performance.
Really?
Nah.
Yeah, they were hyping it up on social media a bit, and I know Noah North was sharing a lot about it too.
Huh.
But I just think that's a great opportunity for an Austin artist like Noah or like anyone to really have the ability to. I'm hoping that he got to shake hands with Luda and at least talk a little bit. Like it's a good person to know. You feel me?
Oh yeah,
But,
it's a good person to stay in contact with.
Yeah. But speaking of local artists, man, on Saturday night actually, I got to hang out with a local rock band called MariaBloom. Man, they just released their EP Dark Dahlia. You listened to it, right? I sent you the link.
Yeah, I checked it out, and I like the sound of it. It's very it's got that vintage feel to me.
Yeah,
at least.
it's got
and
that.
I dig that.
Yeah, it's got that soft, nice. I don't want to say soft rock. I keep saying soft today, but it's very mellow, man. It's very vibes. It's very like chill to listen to. But there's a lot of emotion and there's a lot of storytelling in their music, and I think that's what's amazing to it. Because I'm not big on rock. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I know a bunch of rock bands or a lot of rock songs, but this one, when they sent me the link to it and I checked it out, I loved it. It's only 6 songs deep. It's a little EP called Dark Dahlia.
Yep.
Beautiful artwork, by the way. I think their lead singer, Sal, was the one that put it together, but it's paint dripping behind a flower. It was pretty cool how he was, because I was talking to him Saturday and he was telling me like the trials of how he was coming up with the artwork and what it represented. And I just thought it was pretty intricate, like how he kind of went through the trial and error of it.
It's cool when artists actually like take time on the artwork
to think about it.
Yeah, think about it.
Okay, so let me. So that's a good thing to jump into. Cover art.
Yeah.
You being a graphic designer, not a lot of people know that, but you're very experienced with graphic design, web design, engineering. You're an artist yourself. But when it comes to artwork, I know you get a lot of people hitting you up, hey, I need this cover art, da-da-da-da-da-da. Do you feel like a lot of people are losing the artistic, I guess, execution of an artwork?
Yeah, well, and I think it is too, is that the way that rap artists, in particularly, that's what I deal with mostly. I feel like they just see like, a flyer and whatever, and they're just like, yo, dude, make it look like this. Like, it's like completely photoshopped. They don't think about the actual artistic side that a graphic artist could get into. Because, I mean, dude, a graphic artist could literally turn a painting into like a nice, like, 3D or whatever, an image that's digital.
Right.
But people don't think of that. And, I mean, I just feel like it's a way where, I mean, in today's world, it's like, just make it, let me get it out there and it's catchy. You know?
Okay, so what artist artwork or album artwork like has always stuck out to you?
Oh man, there's quite a few. I can't remember any really off the top of my head, but I mean, there's.
But I mean, you look at Jay-Z. Jay-Z's artwork is typically going to be a photo of him and just the name of the title.
Yeah.
And then you have Lil Wayne's famous album covers of baby version of Wayne with tattoos and going through stages of life.
Yeah,
like
once
Carter 5.
once he did the whole tattoo thing, everybody else decided to jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah, didn't Zayn do that? And then everyone was like all on his ass about it.
Yeah. Then even Kid Ink's done that too.
Kid Ink, his album work, his mixtape album works were pretty pretty dope.
They used to be.
Oh yeah,
I
but
mean, I
once
don't
he
know
got
about
signed,
like the last. What was the last album he just released? Uh,
I know his last single was User. Oh, it was Phone Calls.
Phone Calls. Yeah.
That one was a good album cover.
Do you think so? Because I feel
Well, not
like
with
if
the
you're,
title. Okay, so again, the album cover, does it have to be artistic or does it have to flow with the title of the album?
I feel
'Cause
like
his
it should
name was-
kind of. There should kind of be a story behind it. I mean, look at Tales from Hawkhaven, my EP.
Yeah,
Like that. You sure it's a house and like a sky and like street sign, but like it makes sense of.
well, yeah, because Hawkhaven's the name of the street
Yeah.
that your house is on.
Yeah.
and it's like the imagery's there, and it's
Yep.
very animated. It's very cartoony. It's almost like a Cartoon Network
Yeah.
type show or an Adult Swim type show where you look at it and you're expecting some crazy adventures, and your
Yeah.
stories are in your EP are just that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And I think that's what.
I don't know.
You're right
As
though.
a
It needs to kind of correlate to what's
as a
going on.
graphic designer, at least like you might not have to. You could have a decent cover art, and it might need to be explained what it's really about.
Okay, so now since we're on the cover, we're on the talk of cover art. Billie Eilish just released an album. She's a pop
Yeah,
singer,
I've seen that.
and her album cover is actually pretty interesting. I don't know if you've seen it. Let me pull it up for you real quick. But this is the simplicity that I'm talking about, is because I don't think there's a lot of imagery going on. I think it's very, not boring, but it's very simple to look at. Not a whole lot of noise. And that's why I'm asking, is because I don't understand if people are just, they want photos or if they want artistic drawings. I know, because I know a lot of artists that draw. I mean,
Yeah.
I got a guy, Kodo, and he made what the upcoming album is going to be, Monster Vibin' with me and E-Rock of LMG, another Austin artist.
Yep.
That
one was actually
he
pretty
drew
cool.
that from scratch.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. We haven't gone public with it yet, but when I showed E-Rock, he almost lost his mind with
Yeah.
how gorgeous and beautiful and detailed it was.
Yeah, because didn't he literally like draw that with like pen?
Yeah, he used what was it, Illustrator?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so all of it was just by hand.
Yeah.
It was just gorgeous.
And that was just a simple like you and him talking, kind of what y'all wanted. And then I remember seeing like the like sketches of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, this is like really coming along.
It is, man. It did. And so
See, that's what I'm saying is like a lot of these artists nowadays, they don't realize, or maybe they do realize, but don't have the time to explain what they want. But I mean, you can get really technical with graphic design nowadays. And I wish more artists were like that though, because you can really be different and have a really cool looking cover.
okay, so here's Billie Eilish's album cover. Her on a bed, all white, black background.
That's actually pretty cool.
But I mean, there's nothing to it.
No.
You feel me? And what's the album cover? The album name is "When We Sleep, Where Do We All Go" or something like that.
She's really on her.
When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
Yeah, she's really on her come up right now.
She is. And she has a song on there I absolutely loved. It sampled The Office from Threat Level
I
Midnight.
bet that was expensive to get that sample.
Dude, I haven't read any of the articles yet, but I've been seeing a bunch of headlines like, oh, Billie Eilish connection with The Office sample, more about it and how she was able to clear it and this and that. What was it called? It was called My Strange Addiction. And it just opens up with the, no, Billie, I haven't done that dance since my wife died. And then boom, the bass just drops.
I have to take a listen to that. I've been kind of slacking lately on the music.
Oh, yeah,
I'm on this country wave right now.
I know. I walked in here and you were listening. What were you listening to?
I don't even remember
It was
who
like
that was.
Red Dirt, Blue Eyes, or something like that. Who was
Oh
it
man, I should know who that is.
Yeah, I hope you know who it is. You were just listening to it.
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of country artists lately though.
And because of Old Town Road.
Yeah. That was by Dustin Lynch. That's
Yeah.
who that was.
See, I don't know who the hell that is.
He's a cool guy.
But no, man. I mean, that's what I'm saying is like cover art. I feel like it ranges and it's kind of going through a trend right now. I think photography plays a big part. Photoshop, like you said, graphic design, and everyone's able to do their own little thing to it.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting to think about, especially with Dark Dahlia, MariaBloom. Shout out to them. and South will put together
You
the
can
cover
go
art.
check their EP out on iTunes, Spotify. Where's it
Yeah,
at?
you could definitely check out their album. I have it on Apple Music, but it's on all major streaming
Cool.
platforms. Definitely worth a listen if you like rock music, or if you're just open-minded and like listening to different types of sounds and different artists. Definitely check them out. It's called Dark Dahlia by MariaBloom. MariaBloom's one word. Really cool guys, man, out of Austin, Texas. So definitely support your local artists. And speaking of local artists, though,
Yep.
we have at least a couple buddies of mine, E-Rock and Trooper Lifestyle and some other guys. They're putting on a show for 420.
Yep.
You doing anything for 420?
Nah. I mean, I might go to the show.
Yeah, go to the show
But,
because we got Reggae Fest also in town.
Yeah.
that same weekend too, out there on was it Auditorium Shores?
Auditorium Shores, yeah.
Yeah, man. But no, I just want to give a shout out to what's the it's at Oscar's Backyard.
Yeah.
Oscar's Backyard. It's actually hosted by Trooper Lifestyle and was the other Killer Click Music.
Yep.
So Trooper Lifestyle and Killer Click Music. It's called the Smoke 420 Culture.
Yep.
During Austin Music, or Austin Reggae Music Fest.
Cap Lewis will be there too.
Cap Lewis,
Yeah.
BPC will be out there. Roski. Shout out to everyone that's gonna be out there, man. It's gonna be a good time. Loop One will be out there showing support for everyone. Just kind of adding in these shout outs, man, because it's a busy time right now. Spring, summer coming up. A lot of music festivals are coming up right now. Coachella's going on.
Yeah, dude.
In California, man. What were you saying earlier about it? How it's kind of like it's
a status to
It
be
is a
at
status.
to be at Coachella. It's a status, and
it's a social status.
yeah, well, I mean, a lot of like big people get invited to it. Of course, I mean, I think I read earlier this morning like Ariana Grande is gonna be doing some big performance there. It's gonna be like live on YouTube and whatnot. There's even been like some rumors that even like Justin Bieber might hop on stage or something.
You said Ariana Grande is doing a live streaming.
Yeah, I from Coachella.
Okay, so because these new things, because now they're doing sporting events with virtual reality, they're doing concerts with virtual reality. How do you feel about people attending, quote unquote, attending music festivals virtual reality? I feel like it takes away from the experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever see that coming a thing though, where it's like everything's gonna be virtual reality, especially concerts. Like, I mean, that's just
I think so.
nah, it's just not fun.
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I'm
Nah.
saying it's definitely a part of.
I mean, you got to think about it this way: it's like Coachella, they're whatever, they got a lot of money, so they can fork up the money for a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also too, I mean, dude, people can't afford to go to concerts
That's
either.
another thing too. But I would imagine the virtual reality is probably even more expensive
Oh,
because
yeah.
you get to be in the comfort of your own home or
Yeah,
wherever the
and
hell
you have to
are.
have all the equipment too for it. So
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's something that I can see becoming a thing,
yeah,
but very expensive. But it's because I've been to ACL a couple times, and the experience. You know, you're out there in the heat, you're sweating, you see a lot of people getting wasted.
yeah.
You're seeing a bunch of great bands, a lot of great artists. You can't substitute that for virtual reality.
No.
You don't get to smell the heat in the outside. You don't get to feel the wind. You don't get to enjoy the beer. You don't get to be within, a couple yards of your
Yeah.
favorite artist.
I don't know, dude. I mean, it's cool that they do the whole live streaming stuff, but I don't. If virtual reality ever went that route, it wouldn't last long. I don't think.
Do you think the same thing applies for like sporting events? Like, they're doing virtual reality with the NBA. I'm sure the NFL will pick it up at some point.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I feel like there's
TVs might be going away, dude. It might just be all virtual reality.
TVs. Yeah, TVs always that's gonna be a thing though. I mean, there was something I read where ESPN's like having to even like catch up to like the times of like mobile and live streaming and on the go.
Mm-hmm.
There's a higher demand for that.
I think TVs will eventually become like
It just become like one of those like things where
Like
Amazon or like someone else is gonna take over, and it's just gonna be like we'll be able to watch it from our computers.
Do you think it's like radio? Like TV shows and TVs themselves will like go away like radio? Because now everyone listens to music, listens to podcasts, listens to radio on their phone, on
radio's
their
still
mobile
around.
devices.
It's not completely dead.
No, but it's a dying thing.
Yeah.
And so I think TV's going to go that way too, because
It
you're right. You
won't-
could watch everything on your phone. You could watch everything virtual reality.
It won't go away, because advertisers put way too much money into TV.
Advertisers are putting a lot into, especially your mobile.
Yeah.
Dude, everything you open, any app, any program, anything you do.
Oh yeah, there's
has
always
apps.
ads now.
Ads. That's what I mean. Unless of course you pay to get those off.
Yeah.
Which someone's getting paid for that.
Which that's nice though. It's a nice little option to have.
What?
To like not have ads.
To pay another $2, no ads.
Yeah, for life. Like I'm on board with that.
Yeah. Ads bother me, dude. Especially
They
like on
bother
Facebook
me.
now. You're going through your feed, and of course you look at a video and you watch the next one, and all of a sudden it's like you're already a minute in,
Yep.
and then it says ad starting
Yeah,
now.
that aggravates me now.
And
that
then you just like,
Facebook
oh,
does
I'm
that.
done. You
Yeah.
just go to the next post.
Yeah, no, I just start deleting that. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not watching an ad. So
But even YouTube, I mean, they're getting a little ridiculous with ads.
Yeah.
In the beginning it's fine, maybe one in the middle, but now you have some YouTubes that's like every 30 seconds there's an ad,
yeah.
and that's kind of annoying.
Oh yeah, it's very annoying.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, man, 420 during the Reggae Fest, the unofficial Reggae Music Fest, show the Smoke 420 culture at Oscar's backyard. More Austin artists, man, just gonna be out there. Great time to kind of meet new people, kind of network. Just kind of give yourself an opportunity. If you're a listener, if you're an artist, if you're a producer, photographer, anything really under the sun, it's all you.
I don't know if they were still looking for people that do like podcasts too to come out. Or something.
Yeah. If you got anything, they were even saying you got a podcast, if you got a YouTube channel, you got hell, if you just got a following on social media, come out and just have a good time. It starts at what is it, like 2 p.m., 12 p.m., 12
Something
p.m.
like
to 2
that,
a.m.
Yeah,
12 p.m. to 2 a.m. That's
a long event.
That is a long event, but hey, party, keep it going.
Yeah.
Feel that, man. What do you got today, man?
Dude, I don't know. I know you wanted to talk about Kodak Black, the whole situation.
Kodak?
Yeah, Kodak, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to a buddy of mine about the whole situation.
Uh-huh.
And, because everybody's saying the whole thing about versus Cardi B.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Before we get into that, let's refresh people's memory just in case they don't know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So Kodak Black apparently on a live stream on Facebook kind of had some disrespecting words to say about Lauren London. And this is in the middle of the trial and figuring out what exactly happened to the great Nipsey Hussle. And on the live stream, Kodak was, I guess, talking to a buddy of his or something like that, and he was basically saying like, "Oh, I'll give Lauren London a year window or something like that, and I'll be the best man for her I could be," and da da da. Really, just making it advanced, like I'm gonna holler at her.
Yep.
When it's way too soon to even be joking like that. But even if he wasn't joking, like that's just mad disrespectful. I mean, the woman's husband just died. And you need to give her some space before you, especially going public with stuff like that. He knew what he was saying. He knew he was on live. At least I hope so. And even then, don't be saying shit like that. But anyways, he said that, and then T.I. came to the rescue and really G-checked him a little bit on social media, telling him like, yo, watch your mouth. Don't talk, sweet about this. Don't talk like you're about to do something. Don't come at Lauren London. Don't have some respect for Nipsey Hussle. Da-da-da-da. The game came after him a lot. And then even some radio stations have been pulling his music, I think in New York and L.A.
Yep.
So that's really what the situation was. So, okay, go ahead. What were you saying with your boy? Y'all were talking a bit about it?
Yeah, we're talking about it. And, like, because, I mean, there's stuff going on with, like, Cardi B where, she used to be a stripper and she would supposedly steal money from men or whatever because they would want to hook up with her after, her stripping whatever. And he was saying that it's fair, that it's not fair that Kodak is getting treated this way.
Your boy was saying this?
Yeah.
Okay.
He says that because he's saying Cardi B, that was the past, and that comes with the job at stripping, supposedly.
Right. Cardi was saying like, hey, I had to do what I needed to survive.
And that's what he's saying.
I didn't hurt anyone, but, hey, I made a couple extra bucks.
So
doing
he's saying, why are we stripping his music off there?
Okay. I feel that. So basically, like, why are we ripping down Kodak's music for just saying something?
I mean, it's also, too, is like he said, like, he was saying when you when you're in that type of situation, you know what the hell's about to go down, pretty much.
Who? Oh, with the Cardi?
stripper. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think, because I've had this talk with my lady a little bit, and it was kind of like, yo, if you managed to get her to your room,
Yeah.
like, she doesn't know. I think it's like this, like, she doesn't know what you have planned. She doesn't know who you are.
No.
And then at the same time, a man's like naive about it. We're like, oh, nothing could go wrong. And then boom, you're blacked out. She robbed you of your shit.
I don't know, dude. I feel like everybody's just once you have a little bit of buzz, everybody's trying to just come at you any way they can.
For sure. I would say though, because even Charlemagne was saying this on the Breakfast Club, that he feels like there's not even about Cardi B, but referring to Kodak Black about how these radio stations are ripping down his music for what he said was disrespecting women and disrespecting the situation and da 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 da. Well, his point he was making was like, look, there have been music for years and generations that degraded and disrespected women, but we kept that music on air. We kept those artists on air, you know, for lifetime, right? So he was saying like, well, doesn't matter if it was Kodak or not, but if we're gonna rip it down because he disrespected one woman, we should rip down all music that disrespects every woman.
I get that.
Do you think he's right on that?
Sure.
Why?
I mean, why take one artist and punish him? And if you're gonna punish all.
Kind of be like, you know, what was it? Share the consequence or something like that.
Yeah.
Like if anyone's making the same mistake, they need to have the same punishment.
Same consequence. I mean,
punishment fits the crime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why would you just take one guy off, and if there's other artists out there, you take them all off. But I mean, like, let's be honest, that hurts radio. So
yeah, you were telling me about that. Like, well, because I guess a statistic came out saying that Kodak lost about 700 million or something like that, or it was a pretty large number. I don't remember what it was. But since they started ripping down his music, he's been losing money. So do you think that's from the plays, or do you think that's just from like?
I mean, every time radio plays your song, it gets counted as a spin.
Now, because we were talking about this last week a bit, I doubt Kodak's still paying radio stations to play his music, because now radio stations are playing his music for listeners.
He's not with the label, is he anymore?
I don't know. I don't follow.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't either. So I don't know. I know he was like in the talks of like leaving the label or whatever, but I mean, he's definitely still has some type of management under him, I would imagine, that's still pushing those radio plays. I mean, and honestly too, like radio they have all rights to pull your music. They have all rights not to even play your music, even if you are a poppin' artist. I mean, going back to what we talked about last week with Little Nas X, I mean, that song, when it first originally came out, they were having to strip it off YouTube to get it to play on radio. They're these radio DJs just to get the song to play on YouTube.
Why?
Because there was no like actual copies of it.
Oh, like they had to download it from
download
YouTube.
It off YouTube to play it on air, because people were calling and requesting it. So if you call and request, I mean, of course you're gonna play the damn song. I mean, why not? That's making y'all money.
You have to, but that's what I'm saying. Like, do you feel like ripping down Kodak's music? Because Kodak's gotta.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't even care about the guy. Like, I don't like his music.
But yeah, so what I was gonna say was Kodak's got a following. Kodak's got an audience. So do you feel like his audience that listens to the radio? Do you think they're gonna kind of hinder the popularity of that radio station or that show or whatever?
No,
not at all.
I don't think they're that crazy. I know they're like, I know people personally that listen to them, but I just they don't care, dude. Most of these people listen to Spotify anyways, so
yeah.
Who listens to radio anymore, really?
Yeah, dude, I haven't listened to the radio in years.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like I've never.
Everybody does iTunes, Spotify.
I like. See, I'm a bit of a control freak. I like controlling the music I listen to, especially during however my day's going.
Yeah.
I need to be able to control what I want to listen to and how I want to listen to it.
Oh yeah.
If I'm waiting for a radio station and they're playing the same 3 tracks in rotation every 5-10 minutes, I'm gonna end up throwing and breaking that damn radio.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's all it is now.
Well, no, because I mean there's 3 stations here in Austin that are owned by the same network. They all literally, you go to each one of their stations, and it might not be back to back, but that song's coming up that was just playing on like that one station you were just listening to.
Yeah, and exactly that's my point. And also too, there's no exclusive content
No,
on radio stations.
no,
I
it's not
remember
what it
back,
used to be.
no, and that was the thing. Like for me, for being someone who's so, I like to think I'm involved with hip hop. You know, I would call myself a hip hop head. Growing up, my cousin would show me how to download music from mixtape torrents and how to find all these exclusives and what was it, HD mixtape. That was one of the first kind of methods that I would go and find exclusive music, exclusive mixtapes, exclusive songs. And from that point, it was always kind of like, I'm getting my music from the internet. Because I mean, obviously, you know, we didn't have apps and we didn't have all these, you know, smartphones at the time.
Yep.
I sound old, even though I'm not. But a lot has changed in the past 10, 12, 15 years. And so that's what I'm saying is like from that point, I knew I wanted to control my music. I wanted to control what I had in my playlists and everything. So when Apple Music came out and Spotify and Pandora was horrible for me. I don't know about you, but I was basically, I had no control on Pandora.
No, I don't understand Pandora.
Yeah. So I stopped using that. iHeartRadio is not too bad because you can like string together music and make your own playlists and all that good stuff, kind of like Spotify.
Honestly, don't even have Apple Music.
Yeah,
so.
I got Apple Music. As soon as I started paying for that subscription, I fell in love because I knew I wasn't gonna get anything exclusive, but I knew I was gonna have control that I wanted.
I don't know. I don't like the whole paying for service to listen to music. I'd rather just buy an album on iTunes and be done with it.
Yeah,
because you're cheating out the artist. Like, as someone like me who's done research, who has looked into this, you're not really paying that artist fairly than what you could if you versus just going to spend what 20, 10 whatever bucks on iTunes store. Buy it that way. They're getting more of a percentage. When you do the whole, you know, pay for Apple Music for X amount a month, then they're not getting that full percent.
Okay. Now let's say this, right? Because what I don't even remember what the new year split is on streams, like the price you pay for streams.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But let's say you listen to that same album quite a few thousand times, right? And within a year or so, right? Now you add up all those streams, I would imagine that ends up becoming more towards the artist's pockets than you just paying them a solid $20, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there's a split, right? You can either say, I'll pay you $10, $15 now and listen to this album, you know, endlessly, and you only get that $10, $15, or I can listen to this album the same amount of times, streaming service, and you continuously get paid per stream. Now, multiply that by millions and millions of people. I'm pretty sure they're going to choose the streams because that's what the leader is now of artists, you know, paychecks. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, and of course, they split that with their label.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You feel what I'm saying.
Label gets really majority of the cut, but
hopefully they, you know, someone's got a good lawyer to agree on a different term on that.
I don't know, dude. I mean, you can get so complicated and detailed with percentages and royalties. There's actually something that was shared on from BMI. They kind of like help artists protect the rights to music, and it was something shared saying like songwriters and producers get literally next to nothing.
Oh yeah, and that's what throws me off when producers are like, "Yeah, pay me $500 for this beat," or even, you know, the producers that, you know, they're up and coming and they're like, "Oh, you know, $30, $40, $50, I'll give you the exclusive beat, whatever, or I'll lease it to you, whatever the case is." But then, if it blows up, that producer just got $50.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Yeah.
Whereas there's nothing that contracts the producer to the artist saying, "Hey, pay for this beat now, and if you end up making money on it, give me even 5%." Because if they make $1 million off 5%, that's a pretty decent paycheck. That's more than $50 for that producer. You feel me? So I mean, it's not like they're trying to bleed that artist dry.
No,
it's just I think that's fair for the producer to get that royalty. But then you can even say, "Oh, well, what about the engineer? What about everyone else that kind of played a part in it? Are they supposed to be getting royalties, or do they just get a flat rate?"
No, dude, engineers don't get anything.
No,
I mean, that's just. I mean, their flat rate is you coming in the studio and you paying them studio time.
Are you paying them, or is the label paying them?
Well, probably the label. But...
Right. Who was it? Who said it would? Who tweeted that out?
Tweeted.
Oh. was it Wiz Khalifa that tweeted out?
Oh yeah, it was Khalifa.
What did he say? Because it meant a lot to you.
Yeah, wow. It was like if you're a great artist, you're only a great artist if you have a good engineer, something like that.
I'm gonna look it up because I want to quote it correctly because I think there's a lot of engineers, especially in Austin, but all around the world, that probably don't get enough credit to what they do and what they should do and what they can do. Mm-hmm. Because you're right, no song's gonna get big unless the engineer is a wizard in that studio.
Yeah.
But no, Wiz Khalifa did tweet something out like that, and the point I was getting to was that engineers play a huge role in the artist. The artists go in there, they record, but the engineer pieces it together.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. Some of the artists lately I've been dealing with, I feel like are just a little, like, it's hard if you're an artist and you don't know how to explain to the engineer what you want.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I know for me, I don't know the terminology. I don't know the technicality.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know how to say, "Oh, do this," but put it in terms that are like something you would understand.
But if you can give me like a reference,
right? And I wonder, do you think some artists go in there and be like, "Yo, I trust you, get it done"?
Yeah,
but
I mean they do.
Yeah, but there's also a formula that has to follow because I'm pretty sure, especially if it's a new engineer that you've only worked with like once or twice. That engineer still has to learn your sound. They still have to learn what you're shooting for because especially if you can't articulate and put it into layman's terms like this is what I'm going for or give some type of reference, something that you've been working with. I know I was talking to this producer and he has some live instrumentation aspects that I'm really interested in.
Yep.
And I asked him, I was like, yo, so how do you kind of put this together? Because he was saying, oh well, I can get it done, but that's if the artist doesn't really bother me too much on what he wants. And I'm like, okay, well, how do you kind of get that sound or how do you kind of get what the vibe that the artist is going for without him kind of peeking into it? And he was kind of like, well, I'll base it off some music that he's done before. I'll, if he has some references, if he has something that he's shooting for, I'll ask him. But if he's in here nitpicking, I'll do this, change that. I want that. I want this and that. Yep. It's like it slows down the process and it kind of takes away the creativity aspect of being an engineer and being a producer. But I would imagine it's the same thing when you're recording someone and it's like, okay, I see it. I'll go with it. Okay, cool. Let me do what I can. And of course it sounds good to you. And then as soon as it's like played back or whatever, and the artist wants to like, nah, man, scratch that. Let me do this. Let me do that. And it's just like they're trying to nitpick on every segment of the song. It's like, dude, all right, fine. You throw your hands up and you're just like, all right, dude, hey, okay, it's your song. But it's their song at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, dude, it's your song, your project. You're absolutely right.
We've talked about this. We cannot be 100% perfect on a song.
No. You can't.
Every song has imperfections.
Well, and yeah, we've talked about that too because I'm very guilty of that where I'll come in here and I'll record with you and I'll be like, God, no, this is trash, man. I know I can do better. I know I can do better. And then I spend 3-5 hours on the same damn song and nothing's improving. But I don't think it's nothing improving. It's just one of those things like, look, I've done as best as I could. This is where it's going to be. It sounds solid. But you as a critic, because you are your biggest critic, you're always going to be like, dude, it's not good enough.
But if an engineer tells you like, yo, it's solid, he's not... I mean, for me at least, I'm telling you it's solid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not...
You've worked with really big engineers and really big producers that not a lot of people know of. And we try to keep that on the low. We're not going to name drop. We're not going to do any of that.
Nope.
But you've even sent a lot of the projects that you worked on with other artists here in your studio. You've sent them the files.
Yeah.
And you'd ask them like, look, I've listened to this. I think it's solid, but I really need another set. I really need another set of ears.
Yeah.
And they'll send it right back to you, not even 5 minutes after you send it.
Yeah.
Be like, dude, get this away from me. Like, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Don't waste my time with this because they know they trust you. They know that you're good at what you do. But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, good. I just needed to know that because I got artist A or artist B telling me it's not good enough. They don't like it. Something sounds off. It's something da-da-da-da. It's like, I can't find anything wrong with this. So I need to know if you do.
Because when we were working on your EP.
Oh, yeah. When you were working on my mixtape, dude,
Well, there was a sound you were hearing.
There was something I was hearing, and it was I had a hard time telling you what it was because it sounded offbeat to me.
Yeah.
And I kept saying offbeat, and of course to you,
we thought the whole song was offbeat.
Yeah.
So I'm listening and listening and listening. When it was just a minor change it was a down pitch.
It was the down pitch, and that's
on
what
the
it was.
beat.
It wasn't offbeat. but it was on the wrong beat.
Yeah.
And that's what I was having a hard time explaining. And then you sent it to your boy.
Yep.
And he was like, okay. And he put it into terms that you understood.
Yeah.
And then you sent me back. You text me back. You're like, oh, this is what you were talking about. I was like, yeah. I couldn't.
Well, because I wasn't listening to the whole entire song. So I was like, I damn well know this song is not off beat.
Yeah.
Because I thought you meant the whole entire song.
No, and it was just that one part because I got so used to the other takes. And that was the thing, too. That's what I was getting to. Was like, I could sit in here 3, 4 hours, 5 hours, work on the same song, and nothing changed. And then I'm driving myself insane trying to be perfect when knowing damn well not every song is going to be perfect.
No.
You can spend your time on it, but at some point you have to move on.
Yeah.
At some point you have to be like, you know what? You always have to get better. That's the name of the game. You always have to make your next song better, make your next album better. You always have to improve, but you spending all your time and money and energy on one song, on one verse, on one line, you're going to end up wasting your time and you're going to miss those opportunities of growing and advancing and really just becoming a better person because you have to look at yourself and be like, hey, an old coach of mine, I'm sure a lot of our listeners probably know who I'm talking about. Well, one thing that he said, this was like sophomore or freshman year of high school, character is when you can look yourself in the mirror, tell yourself exactly everything you've done today, and maintain eye contact.
Yep.
And to me, that follows me as an artist, and as as a businessman, as someone that kind of always likes to be involved with everything. I like to make sure I'm always in my good character.
Yep.
I'm always looking at myself and saying, you know what, I did good. I did my best. I did the greatest thing I could. I have to improve tomorrow. I always have to be better at everything I do. Like this podcast, every episode, I try to make sure is better than the last one. Yep. Every song, I try to make sure is better than the last one. And I had to tell you that too, because you are guilty of that same thing.
Well, I engineer my own music, so
yeah. But you can obsess over the smallest things.
Oh yeah.
And at some point, because I know with your EP,
yeah.
Oh my God, that was like wrangling a deer, dude.
Yeah.
Because that was the hardest thing for me to get you to understand. Hey, let it go.
Yeah.
It was 5 tracks. It was a beautiful EP. If you haven't, quick shout out real quick. Tales from Hawk Haven available on all major streaming platforms by Big Willa Kid.
Go cop it. Yeah.
Go cop it. But that's what I'm saying, man. Like you obsessed over little things over that.
Oh, yeah.
And me and you had some serious conversations about, dude, this is a beautiful album, beautiful EP. These little things aren't going to matter now because you're going to continue making music. You're going to continue making albums and EPs. And eventually you were like, you're right.
Yeah,
and as soon as you released it, you were listening to it and you texted me or called me and you're like, hey man, this sounds pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, that's what I was telling you.
It was good. It was a good solid 5-track EP.
But I mean, we talk about that. We always have these conversations. We always talk during the week and we're always like, look, we're our biggest critics and we're going to have these moments.
And you're going to be. I mean, nothing's wrong with that. But at the end of the day, if you're paying for an engineer to engineer your music, let him do what he's going to do. And then, I mean, dude, if you don't like it, I guess go elsewhere.
Well, yeah. But I mean, an artist is an artist, an engineer is an engineer.
Yeah.
People have different ears. People have different mindsets.
Yeah.
People have different ideas.
Yeah.
So at some point, it's going to come down to who do I trust and who do I work with. I think that's why when it amazes me when artists have like a whole list of engineers and a whole list of producers. But it's cool because they have all these producers and engineers because each one of them offers something different.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're going for a particular sound, you're not going to go to the same engineer every time.
No.
You're going to kind of venture out and see, okay, this is the song, this is the album, whatever. I need this engineer on it.
Yep.
Or I need this producer to make this beat or whatever, because that's the vibe that they're going to catch. That's what they're good at. And I don't think every engineer is a jack of all trades.
Oh, yeah. No.
You know what I mean? They have the capability of it, but...
One last question here.
What's up?
When you're listening to music in a studio, and you go listen to it in your car, and say, it sounds... Of course, it's going to sound different. But what's your take on that? Like, what do you hit that engineer up and be like, "Yo, dude, like this sounds totally different"? Or
when I first started making music, yes. When I was working with music with my boy Jay Troop, shout out Trooper Lifestyle. I was very bad at that. Even when we would record over at Fish Street Studios with Roman, I was very bad of listening to it right away and then realizing when I had my old Impala, I had the speakers in the back louder than the ones in the front. And of course, the ones in the back have a deeper bass and have a deeper
Yep.
sound. So then my voice sounded muffled. Then my voice sounded like it was behind the music, and it just didn't sound right to me.
Yep.
And even now with my vehicle now, I have all the speakers leveled and I keep it, pretty stock settings. And I'll hear something and I'm like, I don't know, I want to change this, I want to do that. But I had to learn that every speaker is going to be different. Every automobile, every headset, every phone speaker is going to be different.
Yeah.
It's you're never going to have the crisp, clear sound that you want. I mean, you could listen to a song in your vehicle from Apple Music.
Yeah.
You can listen to a song off Apple Music in the studio. Everywhere you go is going to sound different. And I think that's something you just have to kind of wrap your head around, that if you have the same sounding song in every one of those speakers, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good thing.
No.
But when you go to a studio, their studio, especially if it's like an engineer that's in there, those speakers are meant for that engineer to listen to the details.
It's for mixing and mastering, for EQing.
Yeah.
It's not for you to compare it and run to your car and expect this clean, clear, crisp, like full sound. Because I mean, my setup, I got 4 speakers. So, that's what's in a car for sure. But mine are way more powerful too. Mine aren't for really, especially the KRKs.
Yeah.
They aren't for monitor. They're for mixing and mastering.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just one of those things you kind of have to wrap your head around as an artist, because when you're an artist, I mean, you know this too.
Oh, yeah.
You get a brand new song, you're excited to hear it. You're excited to listen to it. You're gonna listen to it every opportunity you can, and because you're excited about it, you're gonna notice every flaw. You're going to notice everything. And it's not so much the engineering. It's more so like you're overanalyzing.
Yeah.
You feel me? Oh, man, I sound like I'm clipping when really it was you smacking your lips together. Or
hitting the stand.
Or hitting the stand. Or, of course, that's something that's easily fixed. But especially, but I mean, well, if it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's an isolated track, you can fix it. But you start picking up on things. Now, you play it for your mom, you play it for your girlfriend, you play it for your boyfriend, you play it for anyone else that's not analyzing it the way you are.
Yep.
They're going to say, yo, that's awesome. Like, that sounds clean. That sounds amazing. And then you're here like, no, man, it's not good enough, man. There's so many things wrong with it. Now you're downplaying yourself and your engineer.
Yeah.
And no one's really winning from this.
No.
And like I said, you as an artist can record the same song 4, 5, 10, 100,000 million times. And if you're not changing how you record, it's going to have the same sound. Same thing goes for your engineer. Yep. If he's going through it 5, 10, 50, 100,000 times and he's like, dude, there's nothing wrong with this track. Leave me alone.
Like, what do you want me to do?
Exactly. Then it's like, okay, am I overanalyzing? You need to take a step back, look yourself in the mirror, be like, what is wrong with this?
Well,
if there's nothing wrong, if you have to be honest with yourself, there's nothing wrong. Fine.
That's why I hate sending artists music immediately.
Yeah.
Because I like to sit down and like actually listen to it, clean it up, EQ. Because some artists are just on a roll where they just don't want to sit in here and wait.
Oh yeah.
Which I prefer the artists to sit and wait, because I don't necessarily like the whole back and forth, this and that, make this change. But hey, it is what it is at the end of the day.
I mean, like I said, there's an excitement rule that plays a big role into it. But also too, it's like anything, dude. It's like anything. My lady, she's real big into baking and cooking, and sometimes she'll overanalyze the shit out of her recipes or out of her final product. And it's like, yo, just like music, take a step back, leave it alone, come back to it.
Yep.
If you get, like me, my new method now is I'm not even coming into the studio finishing a song. I'm in here putting the hook down. I'm in here doing the first verse, whatever. And then I'm taking that verse home, listening to it at work, listening to it at, in the truck, in the car, whatever.
Yep.
And I'm just kind of building from there instead of coming in trying to expect 100% perfect track and being satisfied with it, instead of me building it piece by piece. I mean, we have plenty of music between each other. You got your music, I got mine. And we even know some homies of ours that just have some stuff started, but they're building it together for that same reason, so that they can learn. Okay, is this good enough? Do I need to do it again? And then of course they start relearning. So then they'll be like, you know what, dude? I'm gonna come into the studio. I'm gonna re-record the entire song, start to finish.
Yep.
You feel me?
Yep.
And because their confidence is up, they're gonna record it differently. And because your confidence is up, you're gonna engineer it differently.
Oh yeah.
So so to speak. And the same rules apply to everyone. You got to give your time to grow. You got to give your time to absorb and to analyze fairly, because if you're nitpicking at the littlest things, you're never going to be satisfied with anything you do.
No.
And that's going to show in your music. That's going to show in your person.
Well, especially if you just keep coming back and constantly recording and keeping a catalog and not releasing anything.
Yeah.
It's great to have a catalog, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, you got a friend of yours that we've talked about,
Yeah.
and he's made some great music.
yeah.
And you know, you've talked to him before, but I feel like I've even wanted to meet this guy and be like, yo, this music's fire.
Yeah.
Do something with it, because again, you're spending all this money, you're spending all this time for what? Feel what I'm saying? Like, you can't do all this work and then just closet and shelf it all. I mean, there are artists that are mad at their labels for doing that same thing. But I don't know, man. I think the moral of the story is, like, really just give yourself time. Give yourself confidence. Don't get overexcited, and have that character to look yourself in the mirror and just be like, yo, I need to do better every time. I can't just waste my time in one day or one session and obsess over these little things. You feel me?
Yep. Totally agree with you on that.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, everyone has method to madness, and, I'm not taking away from anyone. It's just, it's sad to see when people are kind of putting themselves down or like obsessing over these little things, because they're great artists. They have a talent. Yo, let yourself grow. Let yourself fly. Let yourself, kind of go with the flow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
just put it out, dude. Like, put it out on SoundCloud or something. Like, let people give you the feedback that you want. And if it's a bad song, it's a bad song. Oh, well. I've released plenty of bad songs, and I've learned from that.
Oh, shit. I know I have.
I mean, that's how you grow as an artist, dude. I mean, it
is.
I know a lot of people want to think that, when you're an artist, it's just perfect and it comes out 100%, but it doesn't. I mean, you learn as you become an artist, and when you keep doing music, you still learn over time. And every day when I record a song, or when you record a song, we know we change. Like, we pick up what we like and what we don't like.
Exactly. And like I said, you piece it together. I mean, Ed Sheeran's famous for saying, when asked, how do you make a good song? He was like, yo, I make 100 bad songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you got to do. And it's a humbling thing to say that, to say, you know what? This is it.
For sure.
I'm going to move on.
Yep.
Well, on that note, thank y'all, everyone, to tune in with In the Loop, with Loop One Records, man. This was a lot of fun. We're going to keep it rolling. Remember, new episodes every week. We're shooting for Mondays, right?
Every Monday right now.
Every Monday. So if you're listening to this right now, have a great day. Have a great week. Don't forget to follow us on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at MattLiveVibe. That's MattLiveVibe. Will, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Big Will the Kid.
Big Will the Kid. And then be sure to follow In the Loop on SoundCloud at In the Loop ATX, or just search up In the Loop Podcast.
Yep.
And also visit looponerecords.com, man. We got a bunch of good stuff on there. We have our music. We have some events coming up. We have our shop. So definitely go out and support us. And don't forget, 420, we'll be at Oscar's Backyard supporting local artists. Hit us up for more information. On that note, we'll see you next week. Peace.